Hello again, and welcome back to Granny Dorothy Visits. Today's topic is choice, and the first reading from Wayne Dyer's Everyday Wisdom. When you're told that you have some kind of physical affliction, you can either prepare to suffer or prepare to heal. And before I read the next reading, I just want to say, if you like any of these readings or you want me to continue reading, can you please just hit the subscribe button below and maybe give a thumbs up? Okay, thanks. So this next reading then is from Julia Cameron's Blessings. And the quote at the top of the page is from Louise Hay. I lovingly create perfect health for myself. My dis-ease is a valuable teacher. And it's entitled, My Health is a Mirror to Bring Me Clarity. In times of disease, I slow down, center myself, and focus on the blessing hidden within the circumstance. What am I meant to attend to? What grief have I ignored? What stress have I turned aside or buried? What blessing can be found by slowing down, by turning within? Disease begins as dis-ease. What can I do to ease my spirit? What blessing can I choose to encounter? A falling leaf, a spring flower, the soft drifting of winter snow, beautiful music, the smell of soup, the taste of a good piece of bread. All these speak to my heart, which has ears to hear them. The cleansing rain falls within as well as without. I open the ears and eyes of my heart to the abundant blessings of my natural world. I take my ease. And the last one from Dr. Gladys McGarry, The Well-Lived Life, and it's entitled Choice. Over the years, I have been championing holistic medicine. I've found that the idea of choice is one of the trickiest to explain. It's the idea that there's always something we can do, and this is true even when we face our greatest challenges. At its worst, this sounds like blame. You may think, I didn't choose to get this diagnosis, or my loved one didn't choose to lose their job. And you're right, that's absolutely the case. I certainly don't consider myself to be the cause of the many difficulties I've experienced in my life. I'm not the cause of the health challenges I've faced either. Rickets, malaria, hepatitis, kidney stones, and cancer twice. The fact that we have choice doesn't mean that the bad things that happen are our fault. But as I faced each of those things, I had an opportunity to choose what I would do and how I would respond. Even when we're lost in the dark, each of us can choose how to forge the path ahead. Seen this way, choice is empowering. It lifts us up. It doesn't drag us down. To a degree, choice happens automatically. We often end up choosing fear without even meaning to do so. Many people have undergone trauma wherein painful events were out of their control. They don't want to feel blamed for the suffering they experienced as a result of that trauma, and indeed, I have no intention of blaming them for it. Yet, there is a degree to which suffering is within our control. It's natural to seize up in fear when terrible things happen that we cannot control. But how long do we remain seized up is, in fact, somewhat up to us. There are aspects of what we make of our traumas, how we move forward, and what we create in our lives in the years and decades to come that are for us to choose. That includes considering whether we need to go into therapy for the things that happened or process them in some other ways. In all cases, we can consciously decide how much focus we're going to put on fear and how much we're going to put on love. Even as we choose, our automatic reactions are likely to tug at us. Shortly after we moved to Arizona in 1955, Bill met a psychologist and psychotherapist named Milton Erickson at a medical conference. Milton was about 20 years older than we were and shared some of our interests in the area modern medicine hadn't fully explored yet, namely the role of the unconscious. The conscious mind contains what we're aware of in any given moment. The subconscious expands the conscious to include that which we can think of, imagine, or remember just by giving it attention. But the unconscious includes everything else, the things we assume, believe, or have forgotten we experienced. It includes the automatic reactions we can't quite explain. Milton was particularly interested in how hypnosis might be used in a clinical setting to make changes in the unconscious that could affect a patient's day-to-day life. Though the conscious and subconscious could be directed with will, as long as the unconscious remained the same, he believed, any strides made in therapy or psychiatry could have only a limited effect because people were likely to return to their old patterns of behavior. Milton and Bill began to host a weekly discussion group on Tuesday nights in our living room. It was one of the first acts of connection in the Arizona medical community. Like us, Milton believed that patients could play an active role in their own healing, in this case, by directing their intention toward their unconscious beliefs and the often painful events that had contributed to them. His philosophies would later be used to form a variety of methodologies, such as family systems theory and neuro-linguistic programming, and the professionals who furthered his theories after his death are often called Ericksonians. Even way back in the beginning of his studies, Milton firmly believed that nearly anything that had happened in the past could be healed. The healing process could begin only when the conscious mind was directed toward making a change. Understanding that we are ultimately the ones who choose helps us locate and direct our life force. Because in moments of great fear, we often forget how powerful we are. When we face a health challenge, we forget to say, "Hello, beloved body, what do you need?" When life offers us loss or uncertainty, we forget to ask, "Well now, what am I going to make of this?" Such questions have a transformative power. They activate our curiosity, which cuts through our fear and dispels the idea that we're helpless. They reconnect us to the life force that is living inside us, a life force that is essentially love. Love has the ability to heal our bodies and our hearts. Just as our bodies are built to heal, our hearts are too. Many of us know people who have experienced great emotional trauma, who have healed, and their stories can provide us inspiration to heal ourselves. I've filled this book with stories like that, and you likely have a few of your own too. For instance, Consider Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, whose story I told in chapter 1 or 11. Elizabeth was hopping mad at the people in her town who blocked her hospice center and ostracized her from the community. And that was before they shot her llama and burnt her house down. She was absolutely the victim in this case of a definable crime for which no one was ever held accountable. And she needed help to get through the trauma of what had happened. Yet she allowed herself to say, "Kuch parwane," to what she couldn't control in the situation and move on. That was absolutely a choice. She allowed herself and her life, and she was willing to choose them over the fear, anger, and pain she was feeling. Every one of the stories in this book contains an aspect of choice like that. To turn toward life, we have to understand that we can always choose in every moment. Each second of our lives provides an opportunity. When we truly accept that, we can access the love that is waiting for us. That's why choice is our very first act of self-love, and all love is based on self-love. Always good advice, and always food for thought, where we have to stop and think, because we just go running on in our world and we don't notice things, but we have to stop and settle down and think. We do have choices. We have a lot more power than we think we do. So I send you my love. Until next Monday. Bye for now.